In this moment, the floor is for Nomoto Schumann from the United States. Please. Sorry, one more microphone. I think it's not.
How's that?
Okay.
Yes. I'm Tam Nomoto Schumann from the United States. I'm retired, but I'm still an active sitting judge on the California Superior Court in the United States. My topic is on judicial ethics, and I will be the second presenter from the United States National Women Judges Association. To quote the wise words of His Holiness, every man, every woman who has to take up the service of government must ask themselves two questions. Do I love my people in order to serve them better? Am I humble? And do I listen to everybody, to diverse opinions in order to choose the best path? If you don't ask these questions, your governance will not be good. The answers to these questions can be found in the Code of Ethics, which dictates our judicial conduct. Without an ethical code, there can be no social justice. Even though the United States is one country, it is composed of 50 individual states. Each state has its own laws and its own judiciary. There are also federal laws and a federal judiciary. The Code of Ethics is significantly similar for all the states and the federal government. This is due to the work of such national organizations as the National Women Judges Association, which has worked diligently to bring cohesiveness to the judiciary as a whole. The most important point that all judges must remember is that we are never not judges, so that our behavior is scrutinized not only on the bench, but in our personal lives. A substantial portion of the code is devoted to preserving the independence, integrity, and honesty of the judiciary, such as judges cannot promote the interests of others or themselves. Example, a judge is grateful to the veterinarian who saves the life of the judge's pet. The judge writes a thank you letter to the veterinarian, who without the judge's knowledge quotes the letter to promote the veterinarian's business. The judge must immediately tell the veterinarian to retract the letter, or the judge will face discipline. 2, judges cannot influence the handling of criminal cases for themselves, their friends, or their family. Example, judge's son is arrested for theft. Judge cannot contact the police, probation, or another judge to talk about resolving the case. 3, judges cannot fundraise, regardless of the worthiness of the cause. Example, judge wishes to help daughter sell Girl Scouts cookies. Judge cannot bring cookies to court to sell to attorneys, staff, or jurors. 4, judges or their families cannot receive gifts from parties. Example, a party learns that it's the judge's mother's birthday and sends flowers. The flowers must be returned. 5, judges cannot receive gift from a single source of a certain amount in a year. In California, it is currently $450. Example, judges presented a robe as a gift by a group of lawyers. Each lawyer contributes $100. This is allowed, as each source of the gift was less than $450, even if the aggregate value of the robe is in excess. 6, judges cannot receive discounts that are not available to the general public. Example, a car dealership discounts the price of the cars to all interested purchasers. Judges may take advantage of this discount. 7, receipt of income, gifts, and loans must be reported annually and is available for public inspection. In California, the penalty can be up to $5,000 per violation. 8, judges cannot campaign for a non-judicial candidate and cannot act as a leading member of a political party. Example, judge's spouse wishes to hold an event for a candidate running for mayor at the house which the judge's spouse owns. The judge must be absent from the gathering and must not be viewed as participating or endorsing the candidate. 9, judges must disclose to the parties any fact that a reasonable person would wish to know in order to evaluate the judge's ability to be unbiased and fair. Judges dating a prosecutor in a judge's jurisdiction. Judge must disclose this fact in every criminal case to which the prosecutor's office is assigned. If the prosecutor whom the judge is dating appears before the judge is disqualified from hearing the case. 10, judges must avoid the appearance of bias. Example, judges of Mexican ancestry, judge wears a pin of the American and Mexican flags joined on his robe where everyone can see it. Judge sits in a district which is heavily populated by people of Mexican and Latin ethnicity. Judge wears a pin to show that despite federal immigration politics, he is fair and impartial towards them. Judge is prohibited from doing so because it can be interpreted as a political statement. Other areas where a significant number of disciplinary actions have occurred is with demeanor. Common examples while on the bench are shouting, screaming at attorneys, making inappropriate comments based on race, gender, or religion, allowing staff or attorneys to make inappropriate comments based on race, gender, or religion, general rudeness and belittling comments to all who appear in the courts, sleeping on the bench. Since judges are not only scrutinized professionally, but personally as well, discipline for demeanor is not just confined to conduct in court. Examples are behaving inappropriately at parties, criticizing publicly other judges, shouting obscenities at sporting events. A troubling issue is whether legal errors are ethical violations. Those favoring that view claim that if the error is a result of gross negligence or recklessness in the knowledge and application of the law, it's an ethical violation of judicial duty. Those against state that there are remedies, such as appeals, provided by the legal system to correct such errors. Accountability of the public is a common theme which runs through the state's code of ethics. Many states require their judges to stand for election after so many years. While this may accomplish that purpose, it can also lead to abuses. Judges can be challenged by persons who disagree with the judge's legitimate rulings. An example would be a judge whose ruling is perceived to be in favor of environmental controls being challenged by businesses who view such rulings as being financially detrimental to their interest. Situations have also occurred where judges are challenged based on their race, their gender, their religion, or their sexual preferences. Some states allow recall on judges. This means that if enough signatures are collected, a judge can be forced to face an election, which normally means that the judge will lose his or her position. The federal government has opted for independent judiciary over accountability. This means that a federal judge is appointed for life, meaning there is no election ever. General public accountability has led to mandatory education and ethics. Many states, judges will not be covered by malpractice insurance unless they complete the mandatory educational requirements. Violation of the codes of ethics will lead to discipline, depending upon the severity of the offense. Discipline ranges from private reprimand to loss of the judicial position. Judges have a duty to report ethical violation of a colleague to the disciplinary body. For example, if Judge 1 has knowledge that Judge 2 has acted unethically, Judge 1 must report or be disciplined for failing to report the judge. The procedure for disciplinary action takes various forms in the state and federal level. Usually, it composes of a commission comprised of judges, attorneys, and general public. The commission has investigatory powers and can issue a private letter of reprimand, public reprimand, or recommend that the judge be removed from office. The judge who is accused may request a fair public trial with the right to counsel and examination of witnesses being available to both the accuser and the accused judge. On the federal level, a complaint is lodged with the chief judge, who can either dismiss or send the complaint to a counsel for further investigation. If the conduct is such that removal is warranted, impeachment proceedings are commenced in the Congress's House of Representatives. In 2010, a judge was impeached for receiving kickbacks and soliciting favors. I will end, as I began, with His Holiness's questions. Do I love my people in order to serve them better? Am I humble, and do I listen to everybody, to diverse opinions in order to choose the best path? If you answer those questions, yes, you are truly in compliance with the spirit of the Code of Ethics governing judicial conduct. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Judge.
Thank you.
Very well.